let's talk about politics because politics is such a emotional, divisive type of topic that I stay away from it. And if you go to like the Facebook single dads group or anybody anywhere online, it's very political and it's very divisive. And I just hate it, right? It's super negative, and I'm just like, man, why am I listening to this? And there is a huge dopamine hit that I get from it. So I'm going to talk about that and how it affects my life and what I do with it. So my name is Tony, single dad of two, and I'm just documenting my thoughts and my life. So when it comes to politics, I am more conservative. I used to be a Democrat, but I lean more conservative. And just over time, I have slowly gotten away from politics, meaning that I just don't listen to it as much anymore. Or I just realized that it's so negative that why the hell am I wasting my brain space listening to people argue of things that don't even matter to me or things that don't even affect me on a personal level. Like I think I like it because because people are arguing, and sometimes there are good points, and sometimes it's just fun to watch people argue, I guess. I don't know. But the point is that I just knew that if I watch politics and it's about something with kids, especially about illegal immigrants or about rapists and pedophiles, it makes me more nervous for my kids. It makes me more scared about what's happening in my environment or what's happening in the world or what's happening in could potentially happen to my kids and stuff like that. Like it does make me very nervous, and I get very huge anxiety when I watch it, right? Especially the news. So I just slowly over time block all that stuff out, right? Like to me, if it doesn't serve any purpose, like what does watching politics help me do? Really, it doesn't help me do anything. It's not going to help me make more money. It's not going to help me change my life. It's not going to make me work out more. Instead, it's going to make me more anxiety. It's going to give me depression. It's going to make me sad because it's just so negative. And it's hard to stay away from because, we kind of naturally are curious about what's happening in the world. And I want to know what's happening, right? In case something happens near me. But it's been so many years now that like nothing really has happened that affect my life, right? Now, it might happen indirectly if it's like some type of a tax thing that happened. But overall, there's nothing really happening in my life because of politics. Like everything that's happening in my life are the results of my choices and my decision, not because of politics, right? And so I just never really got anywhere with talking about politics or even mentioning it. And, sometimes it's a fun topic to talk about, but overall, I see people get too ingrained into politics. I see people get their mind warped, based on which echo chamber that we are in. We are stuck into the way of thinking, right? And I like to think I'm an open person, meaning that I listen to everybody. Like I like to listen to and understand people's perspective because everybody has a different personal life, right? And so, some people are affected differently depending on the politics. But for the most part, like on my life, none of that is really affecting me, right? As long as I keep my kids safe, as long as I live in a good neighborhood and I make smart and good decisions, everything will be okay, right? And that's the past 3 years have been reinforcing that, right? Meaning that because of the smart decision I made after separation, which happened 3 years ago, I'm making more money. My kids are in great schools. We are safe. We live in a good community and all this other stuff, right? Because of decisions that I have made, not because of politics or not because of X, Y, and Z. It did not, shift my decision or make me make certain decisions. Like all this was within my control and within my area. And politics did not do anything to help with that. And in fact, it would made it worse. It would make me more scared. It would make me more anxiety, right? Like the kids take it to the bus, right? Of course, I can be scared because it's the bus, and I don't know what could happen on the bus, and I'm not the one that's driving them to the school. If I kept watching the news about kids and about schools and school shootings and stuff like that, I would be paranoid, right? But it just those things doesn't affect me. It just doesn't. And I think when it comes to family wise as well or friends, politics is very divisive where it could affect the relationship with the people you're close with, right? And I never want that to happen, right? And this is why when I go to family gatherings or even friends events, I really don't even touch about politics. We just talk about life, but not politics. And I just think that I just think that people are too ingrained into politics. Like that's the whole point of the video. It's like I don't think we need to keep watching politics all the time. I don't think that we need to constantly listen to it all the time. And there's people that try to force us to learn more about it, try to force us to be more ingrained into it. But as a single dad, there's so many other things I could be focused on right now, such as making money, such as getting promotions, such as working on my career, being more present with my kids. I do not need to get into politics, right? Like that's the last thing I need to do. Now, say when an election comes up and it's a few months away from election, then yeah, I could get back into it. But in terms of everything else, like all the other time, I don't need to. There's so many things I need to work on. I'm too focused on my kids. I don't need to be focused on any negative things that's happening in the world. Like there's like the Minnesota thing that's happening with the shooting and with the fraud. I know about those things, but I don't need to. Like that doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? So why am I even looking at it? Why am I even consuming that type of content? And like I say, it's very hard to get away from because it's such a dopamine type of hit where you just read these type of news that's happening. And I really don't like that about myself where I'm getting addicted to the news. I'm getting addicted to politics because it is a very hard thing to get away from. And so some of the things that I do to steer clear of it is, number one, I just try to avoid the topic as much as possible because I just don't think it's worth talking about. Now, if it's like in the local community, then yes, that's a different story. But most of the time, when we talk about politics, we're talking about like somewhere else across the states or something like that, right? That's nowhere near us. And so that's, number one is I try to avoid it as much as possible, unless it's going to affect me directly. Number two is I do not want it to hurt the friend or family relationship. So that's why I try to be more open-minded and just listen to what they say, but not necessarily get mad or have a sarcastic remark or talk back that's going to get the other person mad or boil up, right? So that's why I avoid it altogether. And on top of that, I try to block it as well. So I do have different apps that block politics, especially YouTube, because YouTube, that's where you could get most of the politics that's happening. Instagram, TikTok, like all those things also could be heavily political depending on your algorithm. So I have those blocks, I have those deleted actually. So I don't even use those on my phone. And I just unsubscribe from channels that talk about politics, right? So I used to be, because I'm conservative, I used to listen to Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro. And then on the Democrat side, I used to listen to Destiny, I think his name was David Pacman and the Legacy Media. But now I unsubscribe from everybody. I don't want to listen to everybody. And every time they pop up on my YouTube feed, I either go back and I delete my whole history, or I just put not interested when I ever see political type of stuff on my feed. Even like LinkedIn, man, people post political stuff on there as well, and I just unfollow them. It's like, man, I don't need to hear all this stuff. I don't need to read about it. And so, like anywhere that has political stuff, I try to avoid. And if I think it's going to affect me and my kids, of course, obviously I'm going to do the research. I'm going to look into it. If there's like a local election, then obviously, yeah, right? But if it's on a national level, I don't need to spend too much time on that, right? Maybe I could get like a one sentence summary from AI just to let me know what's happening, right? And then just then go on with my life, right? And I think what I'm trying to really get across is just we do not need to always talk about politics. We do not need to always learn about politics and really just feed our mind with negative stuff all the time. Like we cannot do that, right? And I think as single dads or as myself, I need to be focused on making more money. I need to be focused on being more present with my kids, learning new skills, right? Instead of watching politics, I need to be learning more about marketing or email marketing because that's my expertise. Instead of politics about Trump or the Democrats or the Republicans, I need to be networking, going to networking events and meeting new people and learning more about business and all this other stuff, right? Like things that's going to help me grow, not things that's going to be negative and drag me down, right? Because those things stick in your head. Like when I watch news and I get some scary news about bad people that's happening or doing violent things and murders and stuff like that, that's going to make me paranoid. I get anxiety because of those things, right? And so I need to just avoid those as much as possible. I need to curate my environment, my content feed with things that I know is going to help me grow. Like now, luckily my feed is a lot of positive things in terms of business. I watch a lot of business content now. I watch a lot of exercise content now because I'm really trying to get more healthier so I can get more energy, and even some parenting content as well, where I just want to make sure that I'm raising the kids the best way possible and that they are learning, they're getting good values. So I even have those type of content on my feed. And so anything that I could use to my advantage in terms of the content and stuff like that, like I want to make sure I'm consuming those type of content, right? And not consuming all these negative media, crazy stuff content. I hate those things now. And once again, I have low tolerance for anything that drags me down. Like I think once we lower our tolerance for those type of things, our life is gonna be much better, right? So that's my thoughts on politics. I just don't think it's worthwhile getting into or listening to unless it's like local or it's gonna affect us directly, because we have too many things on our plate that we need to be working on and improving and not be too involved in politics. So that's my thoughts on it. My name is Tony Chan. Really appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, and check out this next video on the end screen if you want to learn more about my life.